Alright, hey YouTube, Dracomus here. I have a person with me who I want to interview. And since most of you out there seem to think that, permanent's made of just one or two people, I believe it's more adequate to go ahead and interview the person who founded the thing anyways. So, say hello, PC.
Yeah, what's up?
Alright, great. See, he's on. Alright, I'm interviewing him on Skype right now because, webcam qualities and shit like that, so you think of it what you want. Alright, the most commonly asked question, PC, is why does permanent do what it does?
Well, I guess that's quite easy, because people usually, I don't know, they easily get bored on the internet nowadays. So I guess what we do is just we find lots of alternative ways to have fun. I mean, we've got the wiki to have fun with. Sometimes we have fun by trolling people, so to say. Of course, that is not something that everyone will approve of, but still, it does have its merits.
Alright, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people out there would be interested to know what is our definition of trolling, because obviously permanent is different from other trolls in the fact we don't lower ourselves to hacking or anything else of that grade. So, could you adequately explain to the viewing audience how does permanent go and troll people?
Well, I guess it's a bit of a number of individual approaches within permanent, but what's common for them is I noticed they usually don't troll per se by inflammatory remarks, but they poke, well, how to say it, they poke at several inconsistencies they see, and bring basically weak points to the light. And sometimes, I guess, there is a little deceptive and deviant way of trolling by pretending to be something and basically fooling a lot of people. Like the very famous Dolbyop project, where we basically came onto draconic.com as a goon.
Oh, yes, that project.
We were trying to convey the image of those things you stomp on in Super Mario Brothers, and then we'd see how far we could take it before they noticed it. So mostly it's either just applying logic and rational thinking and thereby pissing people off, but also it can sometimes be good, clean, innocent fun, which ends up pissing off everyone nonetheless.
Excellent. Alright. Now, with that out of the way, because we can now properly assume that permanent is a different set of trolling. Now, I know that permanent is extremely interested in just gaining information, meaning that we love to basically go out and find out why people believe what they believe. So could you describe to the viewing audience what the manner in which we do that proceeds in?
Once again, please?
Well, reading the question, how do we go about finding out about other kin? Because that is obviously one of the main trolling objects. How do we go about that? How could you adequately describe that to a viewing audience who knows nothing about other kin?
Well, in my case, Google. Lots of Google. Basically, search up other kin websites. Anything you fall over, you read, and then you basically see what of it is worth anything and what of it is pure bullshit. And then you can keep a stock of different addresses at your disposal, which you can basically rate them on your own, which ones you find to be informative and which ones you find to be completely stupid. So basically, it's not really an approach of looking particularly hard, I guess. It's just a matter of Googling and falling across the right places.
Alright, now, so my next question would be, what exactly is permanent? Meaning, I know we went over this, but what is the culture that permanent strives for that many of the people out there would never ever even consider to see? What is the heart of permanent, and what is that no one else would see?
Well, I guess it's what has become over time. I mean, we started as a pretty loose group of people, and people used to drop in and drop out, so it wasn't really permanent back then. It wasn't even called permanent. But later on, we found out that some people stuck around longer than others, and then we basically hung out with them and formed a quite closely knit group of friends on the internet who tried to work together to overcome the vices of boredom by doing alternative kinds of things. Usually playing games, but sometimes by trolling, of course. But basically, Permanent is a group of friends on the internet trying to have fun in different ways. Usually by usually by talking on Skype a lot.
Right. Alright, now let's get to know the PC-72. So, who is PC-72, and what does he do?
Basically, I don't do anything lately. I used to be pretty active with trolling sometimes on the loan, but right now it's not like I can find any particularly interesting targets for that. So right now I'm just the kind of person in the background, the kind of weirdo that people go to sometimes to have fun, but not really a person they would brag about knowing, I guess. I mean, some people do seem like they have a lot of fun, but I don't think they would. I would be the kind of person they would be telling their friends about or something. I'm the kind of background, dark figure, shadow, evil thing.
Alright, my next question is, obviously, how do you associate with Permanent?
Well, I associate with them as I've always done. They've been close friends and they remain quite close friends.
Alright, so we can properly assume from what we talked about so far that Permanent is indeed a group of people who have like-minded interests, whether irrelevant or relevant, and who can get along pretty well, correct?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't exactly say like-minded interests. I mean, we do many of the same things, but I wouldn't say like-minded interests considering how much internal fighting there is. I mean, I think that's the very spirit of Permanent. You can fight and you can rip each other's faces up and still you can be friends the next day. That's the thing that has intrigued me the most over time, because I've seen people fight, I've seen them call each other very, very nasty things. I've seen them basically ripping up each other's old wounds over things, but always, the next day, they've always been the best of friends again. So, I basically think that's it. They're able to fight and still be friends. It's the thing of, yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So, the last question I would have, well, second to last, and this would be of much interest to people who would come along with your name in the title on YouTube. What do you think about the whole Lady D debacle? I understand that Permanent is, of course, leaving that situation alone. But what is your personal opinion of the entire situation as it played out and how it ended?
Well, it started out, and basically it was like any other thing of its kind. It started out, I know, a bit fun, and then it turned out hilarious, and then it became forgotten, and then suddenly grew to new heights and became slightly disturbing at points, but still quite fun. Then it became a bit too much and annoying, and then it just became dull and uninteresting because it just lost its, it lost its spirit. There's nothing even fun there anymore because people just, people just boil over and then lose their taste. They're not even fun to listen to anymore. So basically, every spirit that has been about trolling with Lady D and about Lady D has basically died away due to people having lost their taste. I mean, the victims of this whole thing. It's not like I have always considered it
10
to be so insanely hilarious or something. It's not something that I have pursued and dedicated hours to specifically going after. For me, it's just been another trolling target, a quite fun trolling target, but it's been nothing particularly special. The only thing that is notable about it is that it propelled the Permanent Wiki to such wide recognition as it has now. Other than that, it was fun, and then it became dull.
Interesting. Hold on one second.